So hello all and welcome. And in today's video, I wanted to revisit an oldie but a goodie by the name of Amy Horton. It's been a long time since I've talked about this chick. And she's been floating around the woman sphere, the copium, the female copium sphere, the only tell women what they want to hear sphere, the self-gaslighting of woman, gaslighting herself, gaslighting her female audience that is trying to cope for years. She's been around a long time. I have yet to see a good take from her, but they're always amusing. And because it's been such a long time since I have talked about this woman, done a video about her, or reviewed one of her stories, I thought I would do so now. So let's jump into one of her pieces of drivel that I have yet to cover and see what she's up to. Shall we? Okay, so this is from Amy Horton, who works for Bold magazine. I don't know if she works for any other outlets, if she's like a freelance writer or if she's just contracted only to write articles with Bold. I don't know that I've ever seen any other articles from her except on Bold. I see we have a mind-blowing love quiz in the upper right-hand corner. Maybe we'll check that out later. That could be interesting. That could be its own video. I'll have to take a look at that. But the title of this story, which I found amusing and I thought would be good for a laugh, is Does He Want to Date Me? Should be a comma there, by the way. She's some great writer. Or Just Sleep With Me. Just sleep with you. By the way, this chick is over 50, Amy Horton, I believe. So they just want to sleep with you, honey. There is no guy out there looking to have a long-term relationship with you unless he's like, some really pathetic, low-down, self-deprecating, no confidence, no self-esteem guy. Oh, but do they settle? Do they lower their standards? No, they don't lower their standards. They just keep looking for that top 5, 10%er. Keep riding the carousel, even into their 50s. I guess, they reached a point of no return, like, I've invested so much. It's like the sunken cost fallacy. Well, I've put this much into it, If I admit that I wasted all my money, that I invested wrongly, well, I lost it all, so I'm just going to keep investing in the investment strategy that has lost me a ton of dough, or in this case, 50-something years of your life, and a family, and any meaning in your life. But hey, let's double, triple, quadruple down. So let's get into this story and hear what kind of copium Amy Horton has. It's always good for a laugh and a half. So here we have a picture of a happy couple sitting there perusing his phone, I guess. Okay, I don't know what that's about. By the way, that's not her. If you already figured that out. She's done putting pictures of herself in her articles because, she's old now. Yeah, the roots are showing through. Just too much work to touch up them roots and make myself look presentable. I'll use a stock photo. She used to use her own photos in the past in a lot of her articles, but not anymore. So the story begins by saying, does he want to date me or just sleep with me? Depends on how old you are. You would think the answer to this question would be a lot more obvious. It is, just not to you. But sadly, it's not. Some guys will do anything to get laid. Now she's figuring that out. They'll say and do exactly what you want or what they think you want. Yeah, that's true. A lot of guys will. You want to know the guys that won't? The exact ones you don't want. Until they've got you into bed and suddenly everything changes. It's the worst if you want to avoid being duped by a sex-hungry dude. Watch out for these red flags. Sex-hungry dude. I mean, aren't the guys she's describing are the ones she wants, right? But I'm trying to find one of those guys that wants me for something more than a booty call. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, sweetheart. He doesn't exist. Number 1. Every conversation with him has sexual undertones. She's gonna tell us now how to spot a dude that just wants sex, even though that's not generally always the case. And a lot of times a guy won't even take you seriously or care about what you have to say or what you think until he slept with you. So, ladies, you're actually making a big mistake disqualifying men because they meet some of these qualifiers that she's putting up on the screen. Just so you know, this is a woman in her 50s who's never been married, has no kids, she lives in California, she's a failed actress, and she works as a waitress. Diane from Cheers pops to mind. She thinks she's way smarter than she actually is. I would not recommend taking dating advice from this woman. Yeah, you're trying to talk about season 4 of Ozark. I don't even know what that is. Or what the best pizza topping is. Is that a conversation anybody has? By the way, it's pepperoni. And he's making all kinds of innuendos and trying to steer things down a whole different path. That doesn't necessarily mean that all he's interested in is sex. Just means he's probably not interested in you for anything more than sex until he has sex with you. Not the same thing. It's very clear what's on his mind, is it? And it's not developing a deep bond with you, that's for sure. Here we go with this false framing. Lady, you don't understand men. Men care about sex until they get to be around my age, at which point we actually start to care more about, well, if you're smart, the substance of a woman and not just what's between her legs. At least that's true for myself. But young men especially, a lot of guys, yeah, they want sex. That doesn't mean that's all they want. See, I get the feeling this chick is like an all or nothing type individual. She's extreme ends of the spectrum, you know, depending on which day you catch her, but there's nothing moderate, nothing in the middle. She doesn't walk that moderate, temperate path. Of course, she's a lefty, so big surprise. Oh, yeah, you can't form a deep bond if he likes sex. Now, if he shows interest in sex, too much interest. Well, what is too much interest? I mean, okay. He's trying to move everything at a faster pace. So he's super into hanging out with you all the time. What's wrong with that? Wait. Especially late at night. Yeah, okay. The dude using lots of sexual innuendo could mean that always interested in sex, but it could also not mean that. And wants to hang out with you all the time, especially late at night. Yeah, he's probably busy. Because if he's the type of guy she's interested in, he's working all day. The only time he has to hang out at night. Well, she's this, layabout. Part-time waitress, part-time contributing author to the Bold, so she's got a lot of free time. Yeah. Why doesn't he want to hang out with me during the day? Because he's working a real job. A good job, which is the only reason you have any interest in him. Yeah, but he's somehow shallow for wanting to have sex with you. Okay. The operative phrase here is hanging out. Okay, he's not taking you on dates. Yeah. No, but he's shallow. He's got to spend money on me to validate me and prove that he's into me. So, highly materialistic is what she is. Meanwhile, that's great. Oh, yeah, he doesn't want to spend money on me. He just must want to have sex. Oh, this, evil man. He's so, concerned about things that are base, and he's objectifying me. That's all it cares about. You mean like you? He's not interested in taking it slow and learning about you. You have heard of the 3-date rule, right, honey? And by the way, you ladies created the very environment that has led to that 3-date rule. You ladies are the ones that made all these rules that made sex something that men expect to get quickly and easily within 3 dates. You, not him. He's interested in logging as much FaceTime as possible because he figures that'll lead to getting you in the sack faster. Or it could be that he's genuinely interested in you. So see. This is what I always say. Women give the worst advice because they want other women to be miserable, or they're kind of cagey, and they're giving this bad advice on purpose because they want other women to take that advice and thereby ruin their chances of finding a top-tier dude, and that leads to less competition for old spinsters like Amy here. I'm going with the latter. I think this is straight-up sabotage because this could just as easily mean he just wants to get to know you better. Every time you chill is another opportunity for him to push the envelope. Yeah, okay. So number 3 was an advert. So number 4, he isn't interested in taking you out and being creative. So this is where if a dude isn't putting out what she considers maximal effort, meaning like planning creative dates, spending a lot of money, taking her on a lot of activities, then he's really not showing enough interest. So that must mean he's only interested in sex. He puts no thought into your time together. What about you? When was the last time you planned a date, honey? Never? Yeah. It's all Netflix and chill. That, again, this is the hookup culture, the situationship culture that you ladies created by offering poon so cheaply, and now you only have a problem with it when you hit 50. Wow. This chick is deluded. Talk about taking a long time to wake up and smell the coffee, and she still ain't woken up, right? So Netflix and chill. Yeah, she had no problem with this 10, 15 years ago, Amy. She's a late wall hitter, I guess, but she still hit the wall. Yeah, and maybe going out for drinks and a snack if you're lucky. There are no adventures, no surprises. You can have adventures without spending mass amounts of money. No. Yeah, but that means he actually cares. See, he's making a physical investment into me. So when you want something physical from him, investment-wise, that's okay. But when he wants something physical investment-wise from you, no. He's shallow and evil and superficial, and he's got to go. I see. Continue. No thoughtful, custom-planned outings. Yeah, because you're worth so much at 50 and barren. The only guy that would want you is somebody with no options, and of course you don't want that guy, right? He doesn't care about intriguing you. Or, simp, male. Yeah. He doesn't care about intriguing you. I got to intrigue you now? So not only do I have to spend money, but I have to, so she's literally saying straight up, manipulate me, right? Sell yourself to me, but in a nuanced, sophisticated way, and put all this effort and thought into applying modern-day psychological tactics to get me interested. You don't do that. No nookie for you. Of course, if you want nookie, you're out. Wow. Okay. Yeah. He doesn't care about intriguing you or sharing memorable experiences. I don't know what that means. Yeah, memorable means, where a lot of money is spent, right? We see where her priorities are. He cares about getting into your pants. And you care about getting in his way. See, this is what I don't get. This is what annoys me about feminists like this. Everything is a false equivalency. Everything is, the same. Men and women want the same things. No, they don't. Just look at you. You think you're somehow less superficial and less materialistic because you don't want sex off the bat. You don't just care about sex. Meanwhile, I'm listening to you talk. I'm reading your words. It sounds to me like all you care about is money. Right, because you're a woman and you're obsessed with resources. And of course, you, being a modern day woman, you're hyper obsessed with resources because you have no kids, you have no family, you have no meaning in your life. So the only way that you can find any escape from the doldrum of your life with its lack of meaning and its nihilism is money, pleasure, hedonism. Right. Hence, money. But meanwhile, he's horrible and evil for wanting sex. Oh, yeah, because he's not as high and mighty and morally superior as me, who's only concerned about material things and how much money you spend on me. Great. Well, talk about lacking in self-awareness. Number 5, he doesn't learn anything about you. This is a telling sign you really shouldn't ignore. I mean, that I would kind of agree with, but that goes both ways, right? I mean, when you meet somebody initially, see, a date, first of all, don't spend money on a woman on a date, all right? Take her out to coffee, take her out for a walk, pay separate. You'll find out real quick if she's looking for a relationship or just a sugar daddy, somebody to pay all her bills, somebody to validate her. You'll find out real quick if she cares about you as a human being, or if she's just looking to tick a bunch of, ideologically polarized boxes because she can't think for herself because she's a feminist and they all follow the same playbook. So, yeah, I mean, if you go out on a date with somebody, it's to learn more about them, not to validate them and spend heaps of money on them and prove yourself to her. Because of course, if you're a man and you expect anything from a woman, well, you're evil and horrible, right? No. She needs to prove herself to you as well by showing interest. So she asks questions and you ask questions. It's a give and take. That's where it should be equal. An equal give and take, an equal showing of interest. Okay? Being aware of the social environment that's being created between you two as the date progresses. You ask her a question, and then she should be asking you a similar question back, or at least a question back. And her question should be geared to getting to learn more about you. Of course, so many times these days, if you go out on a date with a woman, all her questions are focused around things that will let her gauge how much money you make, and that's a red flag, and you need to get out of there. That's an actual red flag, as opposed to these things she's bringing up, which are just ways to keep other women, single and eliminate them as competition for the men that she wants, but she'll never choose her anyway. If he's completely self-absorbed and all he does is spout off crap about himself, his problems, and his own life, get the hell out of there. But I thought you wanted men to be emotionally available. Isn't that the feminist rhetoric? Not only is this rude, it's boring. Well, I agree with that. You shouldn't spend the whole time talking about yourself. Again, it should be an equal give and take. In that sense, there should be equality. He doesn't take any time to learn about you because he, frankly, doesn't care. Yeah. Of course, if this was a top-tier dude, like super hot, he's like a 10, and he's making 7 figures, she's not going to care about any of these rules. This is just for the, lower tier dudes, right? Yeah. Who she's still not going to be able to get if she's following this playbook. Yeah. He doesn't take any time to learn about you. He doesn't care. Don't make excuses for his behavior, but she'll make excuses for the right guy. Or look the other way. Don't fool yourself. He's in this for one thing and one thing only. And yet, if she goes out with that guy, she'll definitely sleep with him. So these are just rules for the normal humans, right? The ones that in her 20s, 30s, even her 40s, which is shocking to me, she wouldn't give the time of day to. But now, she'll give them the time of day, but only if they still meet strict criteria. So even the dudes that ain't the top 10%ers, she's only considering like the top 20%. Anybody below that, she's not even considering. So you could tell from her rhetoric that she chased like the top 5% of guys. She's a failed actress. She spent her time in Hollywood, chasing after athletes, chasing after actors, dating bigwigs, dating producers, dating guys that made millions of dollars and were famous, and through their fame, she got validation. So now, she's deigning. She's lowering herself to consider the other 5%. So now she'll consider top 10% of dudes. I was looking at the top 5%. Now I'll settle for the top 10. Yeah. Okay. 6, he'd rather make out than talk. Okay, yeah. Yeah. What? This is stupid. That's like saying a starving man would rather eat than to have a chit-chat with you. Yeah, he's starving. He's going to want to eat, correct. I'm a man. If you give me 2 options, this is so dumb. See, I knew it. This is just a covert way to keep other women single and eliminate competition. Yeah, a guy would rather make out than talk to you. Even I'm on board with that. I love how they try to impose these feminine qualities on men. Meanwhile, she's with some dude that's making $20 million a year and looks like Brad Pitt. I guarantee you, she'd rather make out than talk. Oh, but he's in the top 10%, not top 5%, so I'd only rather talk to him, because only the top 5% of guys are going to get me to rather bang and clang and chit-chat. Right, because she has ridiculous standards, yeah. And she wants you to have ridiculous standards, too, actually. Yeah, making out is great and all. Really? But wouldn't you rather not jump straight into that? Well, no, I don't want to jump. Okay, now that's two different things. There's a difference between jumping. So now we've got to. All right, so already, yeah. Bad faith. Bad faith argument here. First you say rather make out than talk, and then you substitute how quickly that's jumped into. These are two totally, completely different things. So already she's conflating making out, sexual activity quickly with just making out in general, whether or not you've known each other for a while. No, there's a difference. I don't want to jump straight into that. You're right about that. I'm an older guy, but no, I don't. I left that kind of behavior behind in my 30s, yo. Now I don't, I mean, I have too many memories of horrible, objectionable, evil broads that I banged, that I made out with, that I wish I could get out of my freaking head, but I can't. No, I don't do that no more. That's worse. Okay, I got the sex. Whoop-de-freaking-do. I gotta live with that memory of being with this horrible person, sharing myself with this person who didn't deserve me. It was actually way beneath me. Don't do that, guys. Don't settle. Don't have casual sex with broads, okay? That's my best advice to you. You'll regret it later on in life. Yeah. Don't hold yourself in such low esteem, okay? Don't just give it away, all right? Yeah, I would rather get to know. I don't want to make out with somebody I don't know. What are you talking about? That's insane. If he doesn't talk to you, he's not invested in you. Yeah, but I mean, usually, most of the time, a guy has to like sample the goods before he knows whether or not he wants to get invested. So it's kind of a catch-22, ladies. You want him to care and be invested before he does what, as a man, gets him to care and be invested. It's great that he's attracted to your outside, but you need to make sure he's attracted to your inside before you go any further. Was there anything inside? Other than guts and brains and blood and bile? See, this is very interesting. Do you bring anything to the table that he should care about beyond sex? See, this is on you, ladies. If you don't have any kind of virtues, you don't share any values with him, you don't have any real qualities, you don't have a well-developed and robust, positive personality, if you don't bring peace to his life, if you're disagreeable, if you're a boss babe, if you do everything you can to embrace your masculine and ignore your feminine, and you are just chaotic, and all you do is create drama, then all you really have to offer is the poon, right? So that's on you, ladies, as is most of this, by the way. Of course, they'll never take responsibility for any of it. Number 7, if he does take you out, it's a means to an end. Well, I thought you just said he has to take you out to get access to the nookie. Now, if he does take you out, all he cares about is sex. So he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. I think I see why this chick is single. Some guys will take another approach, which is impressing you in bed with them. What the hell does that have to do with taking you out as a means to an end? I think you mistitled this one, sweetheart. But anyway, this one will wine and dine you, take you to fancy restaurants, and always pay. Wait. So doing exactly what she wants you to do is proof that you are unworthy. That's obviously nicer than dealing with some cheapskate. Is it? Who wants to have sex with you after a Burger King date? Okay. Is the point of a date to get to know the other person, or just have him validate you by spending money? Because if you think it's the latter, that's why you're still single. But don't trick yourself into thinking that he values you anymore. Oh, so how he values you is based on how much money he spends on you, and yet, if he goes all out, that's proof that he's just trying to manipulate you. Wow. I think this woman is her own worst enemy. She's super paranoid and super damaged. Which has made her super paranoid. He's still an egomaniac who doesn't give a damn about your feelings. I think this is projection, sweetheart. There's no way you could have a healthy relationship. You got too much baggage. But you want some dude to consider you and take you seriously for relationship material? Get out of here. He's basically trying to buy you, which is pretty gross. You're better than that. Didn't you just say earlier on in the article? So wait. So you see, everything is an extreme with this chick. Either he's a cheapskate, or he wants to spend too much money. Is there any middle ground? No. So if there's no middle ground, then essentially, No man is going to be able to make her happy, right? No man. Oh, yoy, yoy. More sons to be on the lookout for. More? Whoa, it's like you've got some crazy list of demands, honey. And this is just what she calls red flags, and this ain't all of them, by the way. This is just what to be on the lookout for in terms of behavior that if he exhibits, run for the hills. Meanwhile, what about the stuff that she wants to see from a guy? What about the white flags? Oh, God. Can you imagine that list? Jesus. He forgets everything you tell him. I don't know how this is indicative of a guy that doesn't care about you. I'm going to be honest. Generally speaking, we men don't listen to anything you ladies have to say half the time because it's just so boring and uninteresting. Okay? That's the truth. Okay? It's not because he's absent-minded. It's because he was never listening in the first place. That could be, but that doesn't mean he doesn't care about you or isn't invested. Even if you should try to listen, but there's only so much you can ask of me, okay? Even if you do manage to get a word in edgewise around his running, self-focused monologue. Sounds like she's talking about something very specific. He doesn't hear it. He's too busy talking about himself and thinking about himself. Yeah. And but wait, what about you? What about you listening to him? It sounds like every date you go on, you want it to be focused entirely around you and your narcissistic ass. You aren't even on his radar as a priority. Are you on his? I mean, is he on your radar as a priority? No. Notice nothing in this article is talking about what she has to do, what she needs to bring to the table. Only the red flags a man exhibits. So he doesn't take the time to absorb what you say. It's not cool and, quite frankly, unacceptable when anyone with whom you share your time. I mean, yeah, you should make an effort to listen. Right? But women can talk about some really dumb stuff, right? They can just go on and on and on about minutiae and gossip that only they care about. I mean, men are more logical, women are more emotional. So when you start babbling on about this emotionally charged crap, we tend to tune you out. It's not because we don't care about you. It's because we don't care about a lot of the stuff you talk about, which is drivel. By the way, that's most men. But she conflates the two, right? Of course. Of course she does, because she's super simplistic in how she thinks. He only wants to hang out at night on short notice. Didn't you already use this one? I don't know if I even need to read this one. You already mentioned that one. Okay, that's an advert. Number 4, he takes no interest in what you're doing with your life. Well, yeah, you should care what she's doing with herself, where she is at in her life, what her financial situation is like, because whatever her financial situation is, that's going to become your financial situation too if you're foolish enough to ever get married, which you never ever want to do under any circumstances, especially here in the West, but I would say don't do it anywhere. As the moment you consider going back to your home in the Western country, she will be corrupted and incentivized to leave your butt. So don't get married. So yeah, of course you should take interest in her life. But here's the thing. This goes without saying, if you get with someone who has values, who has virtues, and holds the same things in high regard as you do, then of course you're going to care about their life, because their life is very much going to mirror yours. If you have similar values and virtues, you're going to get similar outcomes in life, and you're going to have similar interests. That's what you base the foundation of a relationship on. Similarity, not differences. So if the guy's taking no interest, it's more likely because, yeah, you don't really share anything in common, or you're just like some empty vessel with a poon, and you bring nothing to the table for him to care about in the first place beyond said poon. Number 5, he actually attempts to Netflix and chill like you don't know what's going on. What's wrong with that, though? I mean, well, okay, so is this time contingent? Or is this like at any time? Because if you've been dating for like 6 months and you're exclusive, there's nothing wrong with that, yo. Ladies, is she essentially saying that a guy, if he gets with her, essentially has to put time and effort and money into every meeting, every get-together with you, and Netflix and chill is beneath you. Really? 50-year-old broad has these kind of standards? Netflix and chill is beneath you, even if you're in a long-term relationship for a while with somebody? Wow. Wow. Most of the time, you know exactly what's going on when he tries to act slick. You mean like a normal human male? Most guys just aren't that smooth. Yeah. Or maybe you're just jaded. And don't appreciate that the effort he's going to, in this case, is because he wants to be with you. And maybe he wants to be with you because he values you and whatever virtues you might have. Of course, you know, if you've ever read any of Amy Horton's work, she doesn't really have any virtues to speak of. This kind of guy will also never take you out on dates. So again, yeah, this bullshit. They usually involve you coming over to his place late at night and hanging out at home. You mean like normal relationships? So she wants the honeymoon period to last forever. I see. You can't just settle in, right, to a contented, comfortable, normal relationship where the time and the energy and the exclusiveness, monogamy that you invested in it increases its value and thereby increases the value of any time you two spend time together. No. The value comes from money. Yeah, I think we see where her head is. But the man is the problem. He might get irritated or annoyed if you don't have sex. Yeah, goddamn a man wanting to have sex with a woman that he's been dating for a while. How dare he? If he liked you and was interested in more, he'd be respectful of your feelings, just be happy to spend time with you. Yeah, he would definitely 100% tolerate me withholding sex, what he wants, and using that as some kind of gauge to tell how much he's actually interested in me. Like if he'll let me play these silly games to judge if he's interested enough not to have sex with me, oh, well then he's interested in me. That's so interesting to me that a man being interested in you and wanting to spend more than 2 seconds with your insufferable ass is somehow a disqualifier. Damn, she's working real hard to stay single so she can continue to write this drivel about her own life. Number 6, once you have sex, his attention wanes considerably. That's because that's all you brought to the table and you had nothing more to garner his attention than sex. He's gotten what he wants because you have nothing else to offer. It's like going to a restaurant with one dish. If I go to this restaurant and they have one dish on the freaking menu, I'm going to get tired of that pretty quick. And I'm going to stop coming back eventually, or I'm just going to come back occasionally when I'm in the mood. You got chicken marsala? That's the only thing you got? Maybe once a month I'm in the mood for chicken marsala. Now, if you've got like 67 menu items, I might go in there 2-3 times a week. But all you got is chicken marsala? Don't expect me to come in more than once a month. It could be the best chicken marsala on the freaking planet. I'm not coming in more than once a month because I can only have so much chicken marsala, yo. She doesn't seem to understand that having virtues and values in common and investing time and effort into the relationship that isn't based upon money, materialism, actually makes the two people want to get together more and have that sexual contact because it's so much better when you have this investment and this increased value. Then it actually means something instead of just getting your rocks off occasionally. And if all you offer is getting your rocks off occasionally and nothing more than that, no meaning beyond the physical hedonistic pleasure of the moment, then yeah, he's coming back once a month, sweetheart. He may want to continue, or he may be content to just have had you once. Yeah, maybe the chicken marsala wasn't that good. And go on his way. Now he doesn't feel like he has to try it all, so he doesn't. He got what he wanted, and it wasn't very good, and you have nothing else to offer, and what you do offer is, it's okay, but it's not high tier, all right? It's not the high tier you get with someone that you have a lot in common with and who you invested a lot in and doesn't play these silly games and who doesn't have all this baggage and damage and always misinterpret things and view them through the most negative lens. He figures you've done it once, you'll do it again without him attempting to make it worth your while. Well, why would he bother? He's already found that you're an empty vessel, and there's no point in investing more. And, you know, occasionally he needs to get his rocks off, so he will until he finds somebody else better. And then he'll commit to them. And if he's the kind of guy you want, he won't have a problem finding that chick. Yeah. Hopefully, it was at least good, because a roll in the hay is all you're going to get out of him. Well, apparently that's all he's going to get out of you, that's for sure. If he loses all interest once you've given it up, that's it, because basically, even if he gets it more than once, that's still all he's going to get from you. You don't have anything to invest beyond that. Which is why he loses interest. Yeah, hopefully it was at least good. Yeah, if he loses interest once you've given it up, that's how you know you never should have done it. Oh, really? Is that the case? Is that the case? Yeah, it couldn't be that you are boring and have no substance. Too late now, but you can reclaim your dignity by kicking him to the curb straight away. Yeah, but he doesn't care. What does he care at that point? He got what he wanted. He found out what you had to bring to the table. It's no loss, because frankly, all women have a poon. And what a man is actually looking for is more than that. But don't get me wrong. He'll take that if that's all he can get, but he wants more. See, that's not all a man wants. That's just all most of you ladies bring to the table, because you're so entitled and you've been taught that you are the table and that you don't have to bring anything to the table. Anyway, in closing, she says, steps you can take to avoid guys who only want to sleep with you. Yeah. As if any of these so-called red flags determine that conclusively. Far from it. Of course, there's no guarantee that a guy you start dating will be honest about what he's looking for. Same goes for women. In my experience, they're better at lying. However, there are a few steps you can take to increase your chances of weeding out the players and commitment phobes. Okay, by the way, honey, I should add to you that the vast majority of men, especially the ones in the top 10%, let's be generous and say she's actually widened her field, which it doesn't seem to be the case here. But let's be generous and say she's widened it to the top 20%. Top 20% of men, which I don't believe. Okay. Even then, the truth of the matter is, a guy who's looking for a long-term relationship with a woman is going to want a woman who can have kids. That ain't you. There is no super secret technology out there that is going to make you a barren, premenopausal, 50-plus-year-old broad able to bear kids, okay? It just ain't happening. And we don't want it to happen, because the quality of your eggs are such that we'll be lucky to get Forrest Gump out of you, okay? And I don't want to have no kid where I know it's very likely I'm going to have to be supporting him until I'm dead. And then when I die, he'll die because he's such a mouth breather and so low IQ, he can't feed himself. So that's problem number one. And problem number two, you're too manly, you're too masculine, your standards are too high. All these articles you write are all about disagreement. You're disagreeable, you're highly masculine, you got a lot of baggage, and a man can see it, and you've quite frankly advertised that fact. So everything's working against you, nothing is working for you in regards to a man who wants to find a long-term relationship. So, yeah, the dudes you want a cooperative woman that can have kids, and that ain't you. Anyhow, she goes on to say he might want to sleep with you, but he has to earn that privilege. Oh, my God. What do you have to do to earn the privilege of being with him? Nothing. Well, there you go. So all you are bringing to the table, by your own admission, is poon. And you wonder why you can't find a man for something long-term. While he proves himself to you, you have to work. You have work to do, too. Oh, yeah. I don't want to make it look like it's all one-sided here. And I'm preaching that I'm the table and I don't have to do anything too. So at the very end of this article, she realized, oh, wait. I'm kind of putting myself and other women on a pedestal and saying we don't have to do anything to earn a man. I got to add something in the end. At the very, very end. So I don't look extremely unreasonable. Yeah. It's always worth engaging in some deep self-reflection, which women can't do anyway. So that's... that's an irrelevancy saying that. Doesn't matter. You can't do it, so why bring it up? Because you want to look like you're in some way reasonable. Well, it's not your fault if a guy manipulates you to get you into bed. Yeah. It's still important to be self-aware. This whole article has been nothing but a total lack of self-awareness. By the way, that's just like a throwaway cliche term. What do you mean by self-aware? What are you actually instructing women to do? Just be self-reflective and self-aware. Are you telling them how to be better? Let's see. Recognizing any toxic patterns or behaviors that cause you to end up in situations like this could provide insight and protection in the future. Right. You going to name those things? No. I'm not going to get specific. I don't want the women out there to think that I'm somehow calling them to task. I think women can lessen the chance of this happening by reflecting on many past patterns that have led them to be in a situationship. You mean like you? At age 50 plus? Who is in nothing but situationships and alone with your boxed wine? And your animals, however many of those you have? And considering why they might ignore red flags, explains mental health therapist, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm not going to give this person any airtime. Mental health professional. Give me a break. Is this your therapist? You need to fire that person, Amy. I recommend doing a lot of inner work, whatever the hell that means, to gain insight into yourself and your patterns. Yeah, but you've just spent this entire article blaming men. And you even said that I only need to be more self-aware and reflective to protect myself from men. Right, not to protect men from you or to become a better person. Oh, no. So the onus is still on men. Oh, lovely. This could look like not getting too wrapped up in the emotions. But all the advice you just gave guarantees that's going to happen and continue to happen. And staying grounded in the reality of the situation. I love it. This chick is like a gold mine that just keeps on giving the gold, baby. Sweetheart, you are the least grounded in reality human I have ever met. You are so glaringly unaware of your own foibles and shortfalls. It's shocking. Every problem that exists in your life is your fault. And yet you embrace and continue to embrace a self-serving ideology, which actually isn't serving you at all, except in the material sense, which is apparently all you care about, which you made very clear throughout this whole entire article. So there you go. There you go. Take your time to reflect logically. I've heard no logic at any point during this article. I have heard a lot of sophistry, though, and a lot of contradiction. A lot of bad faith and just total, complete misrepresentations and false framings. But what I haven't seen is logic. On what is happening in the dynamic is essential to maintaining a healthy perspective. You've done nothing of the sort. Your entire perspective is warped, negative, inaccurate, contrary to reality, objective or otherwise, and quite frankly, self-destructive in nature. So Amy Horton, a former actress. I've seen some of her acting. Not very impressed. That's why it's former. Also, she's old. She's old. She was once a very attractive woman. That's the only reason she got work. As an actress, she wasn't even middling, which is why she gets no more work, because once you've aged out of the looks department, you gotta have some talent to keep you in the acting game, and she doesn't have that. Who has always loved the art of the written word. Amy is excited to be sharing her stories. Yeah. I just, it seems like her articles are self-enabling and enabling of the bad behavior of other women. And I honestly believe that, at least to a small degree, if not a large and conscious one, that these kind of articles are designed to weed out competition so she can continue to chase the fifis, continue to chase the what she considers high-quality men who give her the butterflies and validate her and that she thinks she's worthy of. And meanwhile, these are the same men who will never, ever commit to you, Amy, because they have far too many options to be able to get with younger, hotter-looking chicks. And if they want a relationship, that's who they're going to get with, because that relationship is probably going to involve kids if they're really, truly serious, something you can't bring to the table, along with anything else, apparently. So there you go. There you go. Another laugh and a half from Amy Horton, the least self-aware, least knowledgeable individual on the planet when it comes to relationships, telling other women how they should navigate relationships. So she's failed upwards, as so many successful people in at least the arts do. So there you go. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Is Amy right about her red flags, or is she absolutely, totally, completely wrong for all the reasons that I just named? I think you know what I think, but let me know what you think in the comment section. And please like and subscribe to my BitChute channel if you haven't already. bitchute.com/The Realist Philosopher. That's bitchute.com/The Realist Philosopher. You'll also find me on Rumble. I'm also The Realist Philosopher there. And of course, like, subscribe on YouTube, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. It's good for the algorithm. And again, subscribe. And that's it. So, hope you enjoyed, and I wish you all a good and pleasant day. Take care.